So, a major issue going on in the United States right now has to do with um, major sports teams going to the White House. It's been a tradition for like 30 years where major programs like such as like the NBA, WNBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, soccer, all these teams like major sports in the United States go to the White House as a team and take a picture with the president. And so the last two major sports to win titles were the NBA and the NFL, and both opted out of going to the White House. In my opinion, it's an honor and a privilege to go to the White House. Putting political views aside, I think that any opportunity to see where our presidents have like lived and what it represents for our country. Just going to the Capitol and being able to experience hundreds of years of history and um, just just like the greatness that like our country has been. A lot of the players, no matter what skin color, have decided that they weren't going to go to the White House. I don't really have a political opinion that I would like want to share or anything. I'm not sure if my teammates were going or not going. I would usually probably follow my teammates. Sadly, I wouldn't be able to make that decision or have the strength to make that decision on my own, which I feel as if some players do. But I think it's a right and a privilege to be able to at least go and meet the president. Whether you hate him, whether you love him, you have a platform to be able to speak to him. Protesting going to the White House and getting an invite rescinded doesn't really solve any of the issues. There was a player on the Eagles. They won the Super Bowl, and he held up a sign outside of his locker and refused to talk to the media. I really don't think that that's solving anything. I don't think there's a lot of progress. So my I guess opinion is for all these major sports teams to go to the White House. I persuade them to go to the White House. I wish they would go to the White House and at least speak to President Trump or future presidents and say, hey, this is a major issue in our society. We need to work on this together. We're both in major platforms. People look up to these athletes, and I think that the best way to come to sort of like agreements and everything and work on a lot of the issues would be conversation. I mean, it's a communications class. I think that we could agree that saying nothing in this case doesn't really say anything at all. I mean, I don't I understand where the players are coming from, the frustration and the problems with the NFL and police brutality. I think those are major issues in our society. Like I completely agree with the players on that, and they're using their platform, but I don't think it's in a positive way. I think that these major sports athletes should go to the White House, should speak to our president instead of kneeling for the national anthem or holding up signs. I think actually going and discussing the issues would just be a lot better. And honestly, you can go in with disdain for our president, and like I don't know. I understand that he probably wouldn't be the easiest guy to talk to, but just putting your face out there and showing people that you are willing to fight for them, and not only on the field, but in social situations with political matters and everything. So the point is just for these players to start going to the White House and start meeting with our president and having conversation instead of protesting and not going to the White House. I mean, it's been around for decades, and it's always been an honor, but I guess now it's not. I mean, I know that I would want to see it. I've never been to Washington, D.C., and I'm sure some of the players haven't either. I would still want to see the city, and I would want to go to the White House, and I would want to say, hey, President so and so, President Trump, I have an issue with this, this, and this. I don't like how the league's represented. I don't like how my my class or my race or anything's being represented socially. I just think that a lot of the issues could be not solved directly, but influenced if the players wind up going to the White House. So.